All right? Is there anything on that?
Yeah, there's a bunch of...
You see how even these devils, they're going, look, let's go to the scriptures now, man. They ain't going to the Quran. Yeah. Are they going into the Egyptian Book of the Dead or the Ma'at? No, they're going into the scriptures.
Well, the Rothschilds, the Moses Amschel Bauer.
Rabbi.
Right, he was a rabbi.
He knew the law.
So he knew the law. He knew the scriptures.
And he knew how usury worked.
You knew how usury
worked. Being that he was call himself a Jew.
Right.
He knew about usury, but he enslaved the people through a thing called usury, which is what's the modern term? Interest. Interest. You're not supposed to put. If somebody needed X amount of whatever, and I borrowed it from you, I didn't pay you back plus some. I paid you back whatever you gave me.
That's right.
Because things were based upon gold, silver.
Yeah.
If you gave me 10 cattle, and from that 10 cattle, 100 cattle was produced, I'll say, well, here's your 10 cattle back. I didn't give you any more because that's how it worked.
That's right.
You gave me 10, I gave you back 10. You can't say, well, wait, you produce 100 cattle. You should give me more than that. But that's what this devil's doing.
Which makes him the devil.
All right?
Yeah. Yeah, one of the reasons why they give us bad food and bad meat, that's in the law. It says if you have an animal that dieth of a sickness, you're not to eat it, but you can give it to the people, the other nations. So they believe they're the Jews, so they're treating us like we're not the Jews. So, see, that's why the scriptures speak about knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of your times, you Israelites out there. If you only knew this truth.
You got a lot of guys, a lot of different camps that they watched us or they watch other camps and they setting up their own thing, and they really can't go deep into this.
No.
And this is really not deep.
No, it's not.
Going into the Jubilee, going into the year of release.
Common sense.
All right? Matter of fact, when we go downtown, I'm going to ask some guys in the audience. I'm going to say, what's Jubilee all about? What's the year of release all about? You know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get this docile, which means ready to learn. And look.
Right.
They don't know. They don't know how to apply these scriptures, man. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why these scoffers that was a part of us, and now they're scoffers, they're not uplifting anybody.
No.
All they're doing is showing that GMS went off on this, GMS went off on that. But then the other different Israelite camps that came out of One West are teaching the same thing, but they're not getting on them.
Yeah, and they have no videos. Like we said, you click on their names, and you go. You
can't learn from them.
You can't learn.
You can't learn from them. Their job is to scoff.
That's it.
I got a quick precept. This is our Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. And that's the reason why they're doing this, Now,
if you had the year release, and you applied the Jubilee year, you at a certain time, whatever debt you owed anybody after 7 years, free. You had to start all over again.
That's it.
So you wouldn't have this debt. You wouldn't have what is the U.S. debt?
National debt.
National debt.
About 18 trillion.
It's supposed to be almost 19 trillion.
Yeah.
In reality, it's more like maybe 100. Maybe I got to go back to it.
Yeah.
Because anytime you see debt, you see national debt, you see the state debt, then you see liabilities. Liabilities is nothing but debt. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you go to the liabilities, you add it all together. We talking about, you got it? Go to liabilities. Go to liabilities, man. Go to Medicaid. Medicaid is a liability. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Those are all liabilities, man. Because it doesn't make money. You have to give money to people. You have to give welfare to poor people. Medicaid. That's why you had this Obamacare bullshit, which is going to make the insurance companies super rich, and he's going to get a little money. He's going to get his reward.
Yeah, kickback.
Yeah. Go ahead, look at the liabilities, man.
Largest budget items: Medicaid, $1,008,477,923. 889 billion for Social Security, Defense war, $583 billion. Income security, $303 billion. Net interest on the debt, $228 billion. Federal pensions, $256 billion. U.S. total interest paid. Oh, that's going to something else. U.S. total debt is $64 trillion. 400 and right, is that it? Or is this? Yeah, right there, right? U.S. total debt. Right here.
Make sure we get the numbers right. Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. 64 U.S. total debt, 64 trillion, 64.5 trillion. U.S. national debt, 18 trillion, 800 billion and counting. So, you know, they go by the 18 trillion. You better look at the U.S. total debt, 64 trillion. Plus you got all your liabilities, man. That's one reason why they're over there in the Middle East. There's a reason why the gas prices are so low. Somebody left a comment saying that where he lives out in the Midwest, the gas is $1.78 a gallon. And it'll go down lower. I'll be surprised if it goes back up. Because if the gas prices stayed at $4 and change, $3 and something, nobody would be buying, nobody be driving no goddamn where. But even though you got the gas prices down to about $2, $2.20, $2.10, people are still not buying. You saw my video where I went out to the Best Buy and those different stores, and that was Christmas Eve, so-called Christmas Eve, and nobody was buying shit, man. The only ones out there was Jake scrambling. Esau wasn't out there. Yeah. You might have seen one or two Edomites, man. And they weren't looking like they're in a mad dash, man. And that particular shopping center, and I go to other shopping centers and shop at other places to get tablets and cameras and stuff like that. The week before that, I was there. It wasn't two people in front of me. A couple of days before that, two people. You go to the Best Buys, BJ's, Costco's, Sam Club. You in and out. Yeah. You pretty much in and out. Now going back 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
Shit, it was a mad man. You got into fights and shit, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody buying shit like they used to. They still buying shit. They getting the necessities, man. But that goes back to what? When Esau set up this credit-based system and didn't apply the scriptures, the year of Jubilee, the year of release, that backed everything up.
Yeah.
Because if you have a year of release every 7 years, everything would start. You start off on a clean slate, man.
Yeah, the cycle continues.
The cycle continues.
Yeah, what they really want is they really want to enslave everybody. That's why they're not releasing those debts. You know, it's greed, right? This is because this is similar to what happened in the land of Egypt. You know, when they had that 7 years of famine. You know, and the people towards the end of that, they started running out. You know, the Egyptians started running out of everything. So they had to come and bring whatever they could to get food. And then when they ran out of food, they had to sell this and they had to sell that. So I'll just read it real quick. This is Genesis 47 and 13.
Sorry. By the way, that's how the Egyptians became great, okay? Not because Amun Butter Ra came down and blessed them. They became great because of Joseph interpreting those dreams. You know, for the king, all right, what they call the Pharaoh. And what happened was they stockpiled corn and other food sources, mainly corn, for what was it? Was it 7 years? I think it was 7, because you had 7 years of plenty, and then you had another 7 years of drought. Yeah. And people normally don't have a stockpile for an extra year or two. So after that year and two ran out, they had nothing. So whatever they had, gold and silver, they had to go to the person to eat. Because at the end of the day, your basic essentials is to have a roof over your head and to eat. So that's how Egypt became great.
Another thing
and it was by an Israelite that made it great.
Yeah. Well, another main thing that made them great too is slavery. The slavery of the Israelites. Because the Israelites pretty much built up their society. And that's what made Esau great. Slavery. Drugs and slavery.
Control they had control over that whole area of what's called ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
All those dark nations, those other Hamitic nations,
Yeah.
and the Hebrew nations. They had control over all that, but it started with that dream.
That dream, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
So it says, this is Genesis 47:13. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt